I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like,
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm joined by the man fighting through it all, Austin.
Yeah, the Colts, like we discussed before we started recording, had named Joe Flacco the starter for the rest of the season, and then changed up and said AR was going to be the starting quarterback. Do the Colts know what they're doing? Do they have a plan, or is this kind of week by week basis, or what are they doing?
Yeah, I think they don't know what they're doing. This really brings to mind is yesterday we talked about Matt Eberflus and kind of protecting Caleb Williams. And to me, Caleb is more polished coming out of college than what Anthony Richardson was. And Anthony Richardson has that height, but he also has that low. And we've kind of seen that. He has a difficult completion percentage this year. And he struggled completing passes. To me, this is really hurting his development, especially since he was named the starter. He was out because of injury. Now you go to Joe Flacco. This to me is where the development is even more important for Anthony Richardson, because he was a guy that was a raw prospect and needed to be properly trained and all that. It was kind of talked about with Mahomes, but Mahomes, I think, was still a more polished product than what Anthony Richardson was. And to me, this really calls into question, does Stane Steichen have a plan for Anthony Richardson?
I would say no. I think it's pretty clear that he doesn't, because you wouldn't change up this many times during a season, especially with, like, usually if you're going to be the starting quarterback, you need time to kind of get into it and all that stuff. And Joe Flacco really hasn't, but also he's a vet, so you expect him to be better. But I feel like you just got to make a choice and stick with it. And they're not. They just want to. I don't know if cover all their bases is the right way to say it, but they just want a reason to not just bring attention to them, but to see, okay, what is everyone else thinking we should do?
Yeah, and to me, they're second in the division right now. The Texans are 2 wins above them. It almost seems like Steichen is playing for his job, and he's alternating between quarterbacks. And this really isn't helpful for Richardson. Joe Flacco is what he is, and I think he would be the option to win right now. But to me, it's really hurting because you promise Anthony Richardson, then you go to Joe Flacco, and then you're putting Richardson in back again. So he hasn't really had time to learn. It's only been 2 weeks. And I know they struggled, but it was against the Vikings. The Vikings are a fantastic defense.
Yeah, they've had struggles with both QBs, whether it's because of opponent or how the QBs played. And I am interested to see, do we hear a Joe Flacco as a starter again during the season?
I would say yes. And to me, this is even worse than right now with what we were talking about with Eberflus, just given that Eberflus looks like he has a plan, and I'm worried about like the team's view of him. Stane Steichen doesn't really have a plan, and that to me is even more harmful for Richardson, who really needs that kind of development and that protection, just given where he was at coming out of the draft.
Yeah, I think when you draft a player like that, you need to know it's going to be rough sledding for a large part of it, and you just have to stick through it if that's the guy you want to take. But obviously, they don't like it when the weather gets bad, and they just keep flip-flopping between the two options that they have.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. That is all we have for this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll have to see what happens. We'll keep you updated through this, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.